Have you ever looked at a Japanese home and wondered how it manages to feel so uncluttered? Kitchens with clear counters and every utensil in its place. Wardrobes where every item of clothing is visible at a glance. Fridges where nothing gets lost at the back and nothing goes to waste. It's not because Japanese homes are larger. Most are significantly smaller than the average Western home. The difference lies in a collection of storage methods, folding techniques, and organizational ideas that work so well, they make the space feel twice its actual size. Today we're counting down 15 Japanese home organization ideas that instantly save space, whether you live in a studio apartment or a large family house. Let's get into it. Number 1. Japanese folding method. Most clothing storage problems aren't actually storage problems. They're folding problems. Clothes folded flat and stacked on top of each other create a pile where finding anything at the bottom means disturbing everything above it, which is why most drawers descend into disorder within days of being tidied. The Japanese folding method folds each garment into a compact, self-supporting rectangle that stands upright on its edge rather than lying flat. Every item in the drawer faces the same direction. Nothing sits on top of anything else. Every single piece is visible at a glance without moving anything. A drawer that held 10 items folded flat holds 20 or more folded vertically, with better visibility and better accessibility than before. The technique takes a few minutes to learn and roughly the same time per item as standard folding. The difference in capacity and how long the drawer stays organized is immediate, visible, and permanent once the habit is established. Number 2. Magnetic spice storage. The spice cupboard is one of the most consistently disorganized spaces in any kitchen. Bottles get pushed to the back. Labels face the wrong direction. Finding the one you need means pulling out half a dozen others first and putting them back in any order because there's no system to return them to. Japan moves the spices off the shelf entirely. Small magnetic spice containers attach directly to the side of the fridge or any metal surface in the kitchen. Each container is transparent or labeled. Every spice is visible at a glance, and reaching for one requires no opening of doors, no moving of other containers, and no searching. The cupboard space the spices previously occupied becomes available for something else. The fridge surface, which was doing nothing, becomes a fully functional spice rack. It's a solution that simultaneously solves the disorganization problem and the counter space problem by moving the entire category to a surface that was already there and doing nothing useful. Number 3. Vertical freezer storage method. Most freezers are organized the same way. Items get placed wherever there's space, stacked on top of each other in layers, and the thing you need is always at the bottom of a pile that requires unpacking half the freezer to access. Japan stores freezer items vertically instead. Flat items including meat portions, fish fillets, vegetable bags, and pre-prepared meals are frozen flat first, then stood upright like files in a filing cabinet. Each item becomes its own thin, rigid card that slots into a row, with every label facing forward and every item accessible without disturbing anything beside it. The same freezer space holds significantly more when items are stored vertically rather than stacked, because you're using the full depth of the freezer as usable space rather than just the bottom layer. Nothing gets buried, nothing gets forgotten, and the item you need is always reachable in one motion without unpacking everything around it first. If you're enjoying this so far, go ahead and tap like. It tells YouTube you want more of Japan's clever, everyday innovations. And if you love discovering things you didn't even know existed, hit subscribe so you don't miss the rest of this list. Trust me, the next ones are even smarter. Number 4. Pegboard wall system. Every home has wall space that does nothing except hold the room together. Japan treats that space as storage. A pegboard is a sheet of perforated board mounted directly onto a wall, accepting interchangeable hooks, shelves, baskets, and holders at any position across its surface. In Japanese homes and kitchens, pegboards hold tools, utensils, plants, cables, stationery, and anything else that would otherwise occupy a drawer, a counter, or a shelf. The system is entirely customizable. Hooks reposition in seconds. A new basket adds a new storage category without any additional installation. The entire configuration adapts as needs change without any permanent commitment to a specific layout. Everything stored on the pegboard is visible, accessible, and off every horizontal surface in the room. The counter stays clear, the drawers stay organized, and the wall that was previously contributing nothing to the home's storage capacity becomes one of the most functional surfaces in the room. Number 5. Drawer divider set. An empty drawer is one of the most promising storage spaces in any home. A drawer that's been in use for 6 months is one of the most chaotic. Items migrate, categories merge, and by the time you're looking for something specific, the only approach is to take everything out and start over. Japanese drawer dividers prevent that from ever happening. Adjustable dividers expand to fit any drawer width precisely, creating individual compartments for every category of items stored inside. Each section has a fixed boundary that items can't cross, which means the organization established on day 1 remains the organization present on day 100. The dividers require no tools, no adhesive, and no permanent modification to the drawer. They install in seconds by expanding to the correct width and holding themselves in place through tension. A kitchen drawer stays organized. A bathroom drawer stays organized. A desk drawer stays organized. The category boundaries that the dividers create make returning items to the correct position automatic rather than effortful. Number 6. Stackable shoe boxes. Shoes are one of the most difficult categories to store neatly. A standard shoe rack displays everything but takes up floor space. A cupboard stores everything but makes finding a specific pair a process of removal and replacement, and the original shoe boxes that most people keep take up significantly more space than the shoes themselves. Japan uses clear, stackable shoe boxes that solve every part of that problem simultaneously. Each box is transparent, so the shoes inside are immediately identifiable without opening anything. The boxes are uniform in size, so they stack cleanly into a tower without wasting any space between levels. The lids open from the front rather than the top, so accessing any box in the stack doesn't require moving the ones above it. An entire shoe collection becomes a visible, organized tower that takes up the footprint of a single row of shoes while storing them, dust-free, shape-preserved, and immediately accessible at any level of the stack. Number 7. Refrigerator organization bins. The inside of most fridges operates without any system. Items go wherever there's space. Similar things end up spread across multiple shelves. The back of every shelf becomes a storage zone for things that haven't been seen since they were put there, and the fridge requires a full clear-out every few weeks to remain functional. Japanese refrigerator organization bins apply a simple structure that prevents all of that. Slim, stackable bins group similar items together on each shelf. Dairy in one, leftovers in another, drinks in a third. Each bin slides out completely, bringing everything stored inside it to the front in one motion rather than requiring reach-around access to the back of the shelf. Nothing gets lost. Nothing expires unseen. The fridge stays organized because the bins create fixed categories that items return to, rather than a free-for-all arrangement that shifts every time something new is added or removed. Number 8. Shower caddy with suction cups. A shower with products on the floor, balanced on the edge of the tub, or crowded onto a single corner shelf is a shower that's harder to clean, harder to navigate, and permanently one knocked bottle away from a mess. Japan mounts everything on the wall instead. A Japanese shower caddy with industrial-strength suction cups attaches to any smooth wall surface without drilling, holding shampoo, conditioner, body wash, and soap in an organized rack at exactly the height they're needed. The products stay off the floor, off the tub edge, and out of the way of the shower drain. The suction cups on Japanese caddies are engineered to hold significantly more weight than standard versions, maintaining their grip on wet surfaces for months rather than days before requiring repositioning. Installation takes about 30 seconds. Removal leaves no marks, and the shower floor stays completely clear, which makes cleaning it a single, unobstructed motion rather than a process of moving and replacing every bottle one by one. Number 9. File holder kitchen hack. Baking trays, chopping boards, pan lids, and cooling racks are among the most awkward items in any kitchen to store. They're flat, they're rigid, they don't stack neatly, and they always end up leaning against each other in a way that sends everything sliding the moment one is removed. Japan stores them vertically using file holders. Standard upright file holders, the kind designed for office documents, are placed inside kitchen cupboards and used to store flat kitchen items, standing on their edge rather than lying flat. Each item slots into its own position, stays upright independently, and pulls out without disturbing anything beside it. A cupboard that previously held 3 trays stacked flat holds 6 standing vertically in the same space. Lids line up in a row with handles facing forward. Chopping boards stand in a dedicated section beside them. It's one of the simplest ideas in the entire list. A product designed for paper works identically for kitchen items, and most people already own one. Number 10. Multi-layer hangers. A standard wardrobe rail has a fixed length and a fixed number of hangers it can hold before clothes start compressing together too tightly to hang properly. When that limit is reached, the only options are a bigger wardrobe, a second rail, or accepting that some clothes won't hang at all. Japan adds hangers without adding rail space. Multi-layer cascading hangers hook onto a single point on the existing rail and hang multiple garments vertically below it. One hook position on the rail becomes 3, 4, or 5 hanging positions, depending on the number of tiers on the hanger. The clothes hang freely without compression. The rail space required per garment drops to a fraction of what a standard individual hanger uses, and the total hanging capacity of the wardrobe multiplies without any modification to the wardrobe itself. Jackets, trousers, shirts, and dresses that previously competed for rail space each get a dedicated hanging position within the same footprint that one standard hanger previously occupied. Number 11. Shelf risers. Kitchen cupboards have a fixed number of shelves and a fixed amount of space between them. Most items stored on those shelves are significantly shorter than the gap above them, which means a substantial portion of every cupboard is empty air that's never used for anything. Japan fills it with shelf risers. A shelf riser is a small elevated platform placed on an existing shelf surface, creating a second tier within the same shelf gap. Shorter items go on the lower level, taller items go on the upper level. Every item remains visible and accessible, and the total storage capacity of the shelf effectively doubles without any modification to the cupboard. They require no installation, no tools, and no permanent commitment. They sit on the shelf through their own weight and remove instantly when the configuration needs to change. A kitchen cupboard that held one layer of mugs now holds two. A bathroom shelf that held one row of products now holds two. The space was always there. The riser just makes it usable. Number 12. Wall-mounted foldable desk. A desk is one of those pieces of furniture that occupies its floor space permanently regardless of how often it's actually used. In a small bedroom or living space, a desk can consume a significant portion of the available room. For the 20 or more hours a day nobody is sitting at it. Japan mounts it on the wall and folds it away. A wall-mounted foldable desk attaches to any wall with a bracket system and folds flat against the surface when not in use, reducing its depth to a few centimeters. When needed, it folds down into a fully functional work surface in seconds and folds back up just as quickly when the work is done. The floor space beneath it remains completely usable at every point when the desk is folded. A bedroom stays a bedroom, a living room stays a living room, and a dedicated workspace appears and disappears on demand without any permanent sacrifice of floor space to accommodate it. Number 13. Shoji screen room division. Creating a separate zone within a room normally requires a wall, a partition, or a piece of furniture large enough to create visual separation. All of these consume space permanently and commit the room to a fixed layout that can't easily be changed. Japan uses shoji screens instead. A shoji screen is a lightweight panel of translucent paper stretched over a wooden frame that stands freely or slides along a track to divide a room into separate zones without any permanent structure. It creates visual separation and a sense of privacy while allowing light to pass through the paper surface, keeping both sides of the division bright rather than cutting one side off from natural light. When the division isn't needed, the screen folds flat or slides to one side in seconds. The room returns to its full open floor plan without any rearrangement required. It's a room divider that adds no permanent bulk, removes no light, and adapts to whatever the room needs on any given day. Number 14. Furoshiki storage method. Every home accumulates items that don't fit neatly into standard storage. Irregular shapes, awkward sizes, things that are too large for a drawer and too small to justify a dedicated box. Most of these end up in corners, on surfaces, or in that one cupboard where things go when there's nowhere better to put them. Japan wraps them in cloth instead. A furoshiki is a square of fabric used to bundle, wrap, and carry almost any item regardless of its shape. A few specific folds turn it into a bag, a box wrap, a bottle carrier, or a bundle that secures without any fastening. The cloth conforms to the shape of whatever is inside rather than requiring the item to conform to a fixed container. In storage terms, it means irregular items can be bundled neatly, labeled on the outside, and stacked or hung without any wasted space around them. One cloth replaces dozens of boxes, bags, and containers for items that never quite fitted anything properly. Number 15. Under-shelf basket. Every shelf in every cupboard has something in common that most people never think to use: the space directly beneath it. Between the top of whatever is stored on a shelf and the underside of the shelf above, there's a gap. In most cupboards, that gap contains nothing. In Japanese homes, it contains a basket. An undershelf basket has a wire frame with hooks that slot over the edge of any existing shelf from below. It hangs in the unused space underneath, creating an additional storage tier without any drilling, any adhesive, and any permanent modification to the cupboard. It holds small plates, lids, foil rolls, spice packets, cleaning cloths, or anything else that fits. Installation takes 10 seconds. Removal takes 5, and it works on any shelf in any cupboard in any room. Every cupboard in the home already has this storage space available. The basket is simply the decision to stop leaving it empty. If you want to see more amazing things Japan is doing better than the rest of the world, then like and subscribe. And make sure to watch the video on your end screen. It's packed with even more space-saving ideas.